Hi everyone, welcome back. Coming off of an extra distance feature where for 2 years in a row we've now finished third. Could be worse. And we're going straight into double features on a 97-degree day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please, if you haven't yet already, I know I ask you every single week, but consider subscribing because it helps a lot with the algorithm and finding new people, ad revenue, everything behind the scenes it helps with. Trust me, it really does. And everything that I make on this channel goes right back into the channel because if I didn't, well, we'd be a little worse off. So if you'd like to help the channel directly and get some great merch in the meantime, you can go to GleasonBrosRacing.com, get your race team merch or your channel merch. Got a bunch of stuff on there. Go check it out. It's all pretty high quality and it's very affordable as well. We are getting back to work on the car. I took a few days off. I was roasted after that feature. It was hot. Like, it wasn't even really that hot out. Like, if we were down south, it'd be a completely different story. It was just really humid, and I was in a fire suit the whole day because we were signing autographs and meeting with fans and doing stuff outdoors. Usually, I don't really even have my fire suit on to keep myself cool so that I'm ready to go when the features run out, but it was hot. When I came home, I took a cold shower. The next day I was at work. It was only 72 degrees, but it was like 85% humidity when I was outside. Granted, it did get warmer during the day. But I was like, I'm torched, bro. I hate this. Like, I feel like it's too hot, even though it's not even that hot out. It sucked. I came home after work, and I literally got in the shower and sat there under cold water, like colder than a pool, for like half an hour. I was just like, nah, bro, I gotta cool off. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I'm just really out of shape. That's probably it. Or I'm just old. Either way, we have to prepare for the heat. It's already hot. It's like 90 out right now. It's gonna be even worse tomorrow. Even worse on Thursday. Like, I think it's like 95. Friday, it's gonna be like 100 degrees. And then Saturday, it's going to be for the 4th of July. I think it's coming down to 92. But it's going to be a mini heat wave again this week. And it couldn't be worse timing because we have double features. Now, I've already started planning. Don't worry about this. This is just my Dunkin' for the day. That's not going to cool me off. But what hopefully will is one of these guys. I was going to get water wetter, but I found this. And I'm like, it says up to 25 degrees cooler. I'll give it a shot. Got some extra distilled water. The car already has distilled water in it because it doesn't have any contaminants in it, and it usually works a little bit better than regular water if you got to run a race car. So we're going to pump this into it. But we've also got a few more things that we have to do. Like, I think we're going to, oh, there it is, it's over here. I'm going to bring the canopy and put that up over the car. We're also going to bring the air conditioner. I got a cover for the back door of my trailer. It's got like clear windows so we can see out of it. So we're going to cover the car. We're going to put this stuff in it. We're going to bring my big generator, which is over in my chicken coop looking shed. And we're going to bring that air conditioner because that air conditioner has a pipe that goes outside. So we'll just take that and run it out underneath that little fabric door that I'm getting. And hopefully we won't die of heat stroke. And I've got some other maintenance to do, which is kind of necessary because under the skin, this thing is actually kind of hurting. I got this body work to do where this door bar got bent down here. I don't know if I got to take that off in order to straighten it or if I can push it from the inside out because there's another bar on the inside of the door that's meant for structure, but that's kind of bent. Maybe we'll be able to fix that. I don't know. If not, I'll take it off and throw it in a vise and try to straighten it. I don't know what we're going to do to fix that at this point, but it's really not a priority. The priority is getting her to stay cool, which hopefully will work. We also have a double pass radiator in it, so hopefully that even helps more, but I digress. Carburetor has a transitional issue. It's got like a vacuum transition issue. I don't know what it is, but if I'm pedaling it, like if I get back to the throttle and I hit the gas, but I have to lift a little bit out of it and then get back into it, like pedal it just a hair, it bogs, like it hiccups. And when I'm running a different power valve in it than I am now, I usually don't have that issue. It's not squirter, it's not float height, it's not jet. It's definitely a vacuum transitional issue, and it's not the distributor either. But The distributor also has to come out, because I'd like to put a little grease in between the module and the distributor, because we had that out and I'd really like to make sure that that's refreshed. I don't want a module going bad. And I also want to make sure that the gears on the bottom where it meshes with the camshaft are okay. I've been having issues with that at some point, just figuring out height to try to get that to mesh properly. And I don't notice any problems, but then again, it's one of those maintenance items where you're like, I really should check just to make sure. It's one of those things. The biggest thing, however, biggest problem that we have right now, valve springs. Now this tool right here, a Moroso 62390, which is right on the end of it right there. This is a valve spring checker, okay? Now this is the exact tool that they use in tech for when we get our engines checked. And I've had this tool on my engine already at some point this year. Granted, they didn't exactly tell me what they found. Now the way you use this thing is, since I have a GM 602 crate, they're very touchy about what kind of valve springs you have. Now, a factory valve spring, which is what I have in these, is about 80 pounds of seat pressure. Now what that is seat pressure is how much it takes to just open the valve, kind of like that, right? And what this will tell you is that seat pressure, and what you have to do is you have to actually like hold it at a 90-degree angle and pull straight back until it opens. Now let's see what it says when it opens. Right there, it's open. That's 55, or at least 50, right? If I just open her up, it's about 50 to 55 pounds. That's really bad. Like, really bad. That's supposed to be 80. And I don't know if I can measure a full inch to take her down all the way, because this thing will measure up to 300. And I don't know if you're supposed to do that with these, so I just wanted to check seat pressure, but those have to go. That's a big reason why our engine seems flat. Now clearly the GM 602 crate is a very, very popular power plant base for a lot of different racing series and divisions. It is utilized everywhere. So they know a heck of a lot about this thing. And one thing that is really going to cost you power is valve train control. And that's why they test valve springs when they're in tech. And I've actually had them checked this year already. So if you have weak valve springs, the engine will be very flat. It's not going to misfire, but it will seem very flat. You won't have as much power. It won't, like I said, it won't stutter, it won't stumble, it just won't go as well as it should. It's not going to float the valves either, but what you will have is like valve bounce, where the valve will come back up, but the spring tension's not high enough for it to really make sure it sits in the valve seat when the piston is traveling. So it will, I think it actually results in a loss of cylinder pressure because it's not allowing the valve to stay closed at high RPM. So that's the problem that we're kind of facing right now. Unfortunately, I negligently lost the piece of paper that I was using to keep track of how many races were on my valve springs. And I think it's way too many. I actually have some coming. They will be here tomorrow. So thankfully, we will not go into the next race, which is the next 2 races, with bad valve springs. We will be going into that race with fresh valve springs, and everything should be at least tidied up on the front end where the motor is. So first things first, let's go grab all this coolant stuff, and we will start up front with not only that, but we're also going to run the distributor out of the car because we need to at least take a look at it. It went through tech, and I put it back together, and I just want to make sure that we're ready to go racing just in case something isn't quite put back together right. Now, when it comes to putting some kind of an additive into your water, I would say the best thing to do is make sure it's legal first, which this is. It's a derivative of water wetter, which is actually allowed by rule. So it's not like it's going to be bad for the racetrack if something should happen, like a hose lets go or something of that nature. But for whatever reason, damn, this cap is really on there. There we go. Remember our cooling system issues from last year? I'm glad I have that now. All right, so what you want to do is, if you have it on a radiator, you check to see how far down it is. And you know what? We might have to take a little water out because we want to make sure that this entire bottle will fit into it. So I'm just going to siphon some out of it. Maybe not. It's just the wrong end. Let me try this end. Okay, apparently I got to do it the old school way. Yes, I'm doing it straight onto my concrete floor because I don't really care. What's it gonna do? Go outside? The floor is so far slanted that it just runs right out the door anyway. So it's not worth me putting anything on there. Oh, I guess that's the end of that. And the reason I'm also taking some of the water out is because I have a whole gallon that I just bought. We can replenish whatever we need, so it's not a huge deal. So with that out, hopefully that's enough. We can now dump this in there. Apparently it's sealed for my protection. Please fit. Boy, that would really stink, huh? Pour that whole thing in. It doesn't actually go in. Didn't get enough out. All right, so there's a little bit left in there now. We can go and pour a little bit of water into it. This thing's already been run a few times, so it's already purged any air out, so it's not a huge deal. So we can go ahead and pour that in there sloppily. And there we go. Pulled that aside somewhere else. There you go. That's how to put an additive in an already running car. Take out what you're going to replace. Okay, distributor came out and I took a look at the gear at the bottom of it, and I also redid the dielectric grease that's supposed to go underneath the coil. No, not coil, module. Yeah, there's some in the whatever. Anyway, we'll move on. Check the gear out because I had some height adjustment issues where the gear on the distributor and the camshaft were not meshing very well. So I bought a shim kit, put it under the distributor to bring it up a hair, and I don't think I checked it again until now. So, whoops. But either way, it's okay that I didn't, because when I checked the drive side of the gear, right in the middle, no wear possible, I'm like, oh, thank God. I didn't want to be wearing out cam gears or distributor gears, because went back through the carburetor and just kind of cleaned it out, took a look at it, made sure there was nothing in it. It's a good thing to do. You want to make sure you just kind of clean stuff out and put it back together. That way, at least you know the passages are clean. Other than that, I got to think about it. We got a bunch to do. I should probably at least grab a porta power or something, but I think most likely I'm going to do something else. Now, what I'm going to do is probably something boring, which I don't feel like filming. My belt sander that I use for sanding whatever, usually it's brake pads. That I'm kind of, I don't know, man. I don't think the belt on it has enough grit for pulling some of the glaze off of it. It might be for wood too. I'm like, I went and got some metal belts for it. They're a little heavier grit. They might take a little bit more of the shine out of these pads. And I'm gonna go do boring stuff like change the belt to a little bit more maybe appropriate one. Who the hell knows with Chinese stuff nowadays, but I'm gonna go change them anyway. And we'll see how that helps with the brake pads. pulled the belt sander back out, put a heavier grit sandpaper tube roll thing on it. And then I realized after looking at the rotors that I probably wasn't going to need it. See these vertical lines right here in the middle of the screen? Those are all heat cracks. Oh, there's some more. And I don't really have fingernails, but I can catch my look at that. I can catch my fingernail on these. That is, that's junk. We're not going to use that rotor. We're going to go and grab the ones we bought last week. Luckily, we are prepared. If anybody's interested in seeing what my brake pads look like after sanding them and then running an extra distance race on it. Yep, they're glazed again. Not as bad, but they are glazed again because I could feel them glaze over. We got about 23 laps in, and then I felt the pedal go hard, and I wasn't stopping as well. I don't lose pedal in this car. It just goes hard, which is really nice because I'd hate to be panicking and pumping the brakes up because the fluid's boiling, but we don't have that issue. That's pretty damn glazed. It's okay. These, you know what I was thinking of doing? I was sanding these and maybe holding on to them for backups, but anytime I hold on to something for backups, especially like this, I don't need them. You know what? For academic purposes, I actually went and sanded one down. Now that is 40 grit. I forget what the exact grit material is made out of, but I guess it's for metal. Who knows if it actually is or not. But this is one race of glaze right here. Look at that. This is a couple passes on that belt sander with 40 grit. That took it right off. And that's really, you know, I didn't know if that was going to work as well as it did because I hadn't done it in a while and I forgot about it. But then when I did it, I'm like scaring myself with how much brakes I have into the corner. That's nice to have, I'll tell you what. It's nice to be reminded of these types of things that you really need to do, but you forget. You know, this is the kind of stuff that hurts you in the end. All right, all new pads and rotors are on the front, both of them. Found the left front wheel seal had torn off, at least in a spot. It was about this big, and there was hot grease was starting to get out and get on the hub, and it would have made it to the rotor pretty soon if I didn't catch it. And luckily I had a new one, so I took that hub, and when I put the brake rotor on it, pulled all the things apart, pulled the seal out, pulled the bearings out, chucked a whole bunch of fresh grease in it, slammed a new seal on it, cleaned it all up, put the new rotor on it, put it all back together. You can tell they're new because they aren't bed in. So that's going to grab pretty good. Out of an exercise of, well, just practice, I suppose, I took the old brake pads and sanded them just to get some practice. I'd say that's pretty darn level. And I'd say that that's pretty darn flat as well. And look at that. You touch them, they have grab to them. Like, I don't want to get a metal splinter doing that, but they are pretty sweet. I'll tell you what, 40 grit was definitely the way to go. That helps a lot more than this one. This one's kind of 80 grit. It's a little, it's kind of small. I don't like it. 40 is real aggressive, really aggressive. And it works on brake rotors very, very abruptly, let's just say. So you can get through these things really fast if you're a little too aggressive with it. I put it down for a second, pick it up, look where it is, make sure it's flat. Just keep going until there's no shine left on it, and that gets rid of any warping and shiny spots. These are probably about half used, I would say. This one's a little more, but this one's not. So they're good spares, just in case we need them. I, however, have league night tonight, and I'm thirsty. I've run out of all of my drinks. It's going to be a really hot week. Not looking forward to how unbelievably warm it's going to be. The only thing I'm really looking forward to is how this thing runs once I get valve springs in it and we get that distributor working perfectly. So I guess we'll figure that out tomorrow when all that stuff comes in. See you then. Whew, it's the next day and it's hot out. Can't you tell? Yeah, it's hot in here too. I do have a reason for being this warm looking though, because I have been outside and I have good news. It is not perfect news, but it is good news. It is a step forward. those of you who have watched my channel for a minute, and especially those of you who have watched for more than just the racing content, will remember my dad's truck project that I featured on the channel. Let's see, pretty much all of last winter, really. It took us like 3 months to get the damn truck done, but it was a shell of just, I guess, forgotten items and half work, and I had to source a bunch of stuff, and I had to go through a lot of real problems at every single turn. But that's the truck that's running and driving. I've had it on my TikTok account. I've had it on the channel a bunch. But I finally got through one major hurdle today, even though last week we completely failed. But I got temporary tags for it. Now, apparently the DMV here in Connecticut wants to know that the VIN is good because they can't find it in their system, so they want me to do a VIN check, which isn't, I guess, too big of a deal. And then once I get that sorted out, then the truck will be in their system and we can register it and we can finally start moving forward on it because it is insured. And it, like I said, we just finished the 10-day tag so that I could bring it to, I guess I got to bring it to a local emission station just to get the VIN checked, and then they can put it in the system. Or I don't know why the DMV just doesn't do it, but whatever, you know. I should have just registered it out of state and just saved myself the time, but whatever. It is what it is. So that is temporarily tagged, and I'm going to be making a video about it this weekend because we have an off week in about 2 weeks. This week we're going to race, then next week we race, and then the week after that we have a week off, and I'm going to be going on vacation. So I'm going to put out a video that's very special and very near and dear to my heart and my family on that, and it's going to be pretty awesome. It's not going to be very long, let me tell you that, but it is going to be pretty cool. So keep your eyes peeled for that. However, I have good news on this car as well. Ow! I keep backing into this belt of 40 grit. Ooh, anyway. Here they are. Valve springs. Okay, I'll admit, I spent a little extra money and had somebody else go through and like rate, I guess, or match all of these, and they tell you which ones to use on the intake and which ones to use on the exhaust. I don't know, but we got valve springs, and I'm gonna go poke a couple into the engine, and we're gonna change all of them clearly, but I'm gonna go throw a couple into the motor, and then we're gonna grab my tool for the valve spring checker. I think it's all the way up over there, and we're gonna do another baseline just to see what it says when we put fresh stuff in there instead of stuff that was from, well, last year. How's my shirt doing? It still changed colors. That's the fun game of summer. Watch as your shirt changes color. Great. Last thing left to do is time it and tune it. Might have to change a little bit here, but it's not a big deal. Let's get her fired up. Okay. Probably nothing there. Well, she's running. That must have been a pretty good guess on the old timing. gotta make sure the idle's good here. I don't know, it seems all right. Can I take a little bit of idle out of her? I still kind of can, yep. Can't see in there. Tighten her down. I'd say we're good. Sounds really good. A lot fresher. The night drags on, and at least we got the motor situation figured out. She sounds really good, I'll tell you what. It's just, it's gonna be real hard on it because it's gonna be really hot. And when you're driving race cars, let's be fair, they ain't road cars. They get hot, and they get hot quick. And I'm trying to make sure that we can do everything we can to keep it as cool as possible. So both ducts are open, fan's gonna be on, water wetter's in the tank, and she's set up rich. So all we're at right now is we're at the time to get scaled up, but I still gotta do some body work. I still gotta push that bar out. Everything else is fine. Like, there's no dents in here that I'm really that concerned about. I'm taking a look right now. No. I might just rip the porta power out and just kind of push this bar back over here on this side and just get that straightened out. And once that's straight, I probably won't bother reinforcing it. I'll just send it because I don't have time. I got a little bit complacent to the week off that we had, and I was able to kind of take my time and then forgot that, oh yeah, I got to kind of hustle during the week. So we're going to put her on scales once I get her pushed out. Hopefully we'll get a good number because we're not changing anything from last week. It was fine. It was just a little tight. If anything, we'll, I don't know, take a little wedge out of her and send it back on the track. It's not a huge adjustment, and we already made one at the track, so we're probably pretty close to what we want. So we're going to write some numbers down and see what happens. Yeah, it's been a long day. It really has. But she's ready to go on scales. I got help coming tomorrow, so I think we're just going to have to wait until then. Does it look it? Yeah, it sure does. Anyway, I got help coming, like I said. Hopefully my brother will be here so we can lift a big ass generator into my truck and we can get at least a little bit of this stuff outfitted so that we'll be hopefully a little better prepared in order for us to make it through the unbelievable heat we're supposed to have on Friday. And at least the car is functional. We changed valve springs, we put water wetter in it, and I might go through the rear brakes, but I don't know yet. I think they're fine. They don't do a lot, and I was gonna sand those pads down too, but they'll be fine for now. I got new fronts on. It'll be all right. So we're just gonna go inside and rehydrate. Then we'll be back out tomorrow to hopefully finish up scaling, get some of this heat prevention measures done, and then load up and be ready for double features on Friday. Oh, I guess I got a little garage mascara going on here. That's okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes, it is the next day, and yes, I do look this terrible for a reason. Because it is 98 degrees. It's okay. The garage was only 92 when I got in here, so could be worse. Doesn't matter if I have the air or the fan on, it's still hot and I still hate it. And I was at work all day and got broken down outside. Had to wait for a tow truck, so that was tremendous. And tomorrow brings even more pain because it's going to be 100 degrees and humid. Real feel is going to be around 120 degrees. That's like being in this shop when it's 95 degrees out, when we didn't have any sort of insulation in the roof and the sun beating on it all day long, and us not opening a door, a window, I don't have any windows, or turning the fan on to try to ventilate any of the heat out. And then being out there for 8 hours. And then getting in your race car, which has the headers go right under your feet and under your seat. And it's going to be so hot out, you have to have the fan on. So you have the fan for the radiator on, and that's pulling all that hot air straight back towards the firewall. And that heats the firewall up, and all of that air goes right into the driver's compartment. So it's even hotter. And we have to do that twice. I've decided that we're done working on the car. I'm going to just roll it on scales and start loading the trailer with what I think we need to survive 100-degree weather with no insulation in my trailer and no air conditioning in it either. So I'm gonna have to try to dig out my other generator, get that gassed up, grab that air conditioner off the wall somehow, try to wheel that in there and try to gate off my trailer so that we can actually keep that air in so my brother doesn't die. And me, I guess. And whoever else is around me who doesn't have air conditioning. Let's get to it, because I don't feel like being out here anymore. Me again, your favorite shiny tomato. It is past 5 p.m. and it is 99 degrees out still. What do you think that bodes for the rest of tomorrow? Because it's going to be exactly the same. Like I said before, I don't advocate for cancellations based on just things like this, but man, I'd hate to be the racetrack in this situation, you know, because if it's sunny out, I mean, that's kind of the whole reason you're open, right? I mean, you go out there and you put on a show, and, you know, if it ain't raining, you're racing. But that's not their fault, you know? And they got to take every open opportunity that they can to put on a show, and I get it. But at the same time, I'm seeing other racetracks, like west of us, close because it's too hot. Like New York tracks are closing. They're saying it's going to be too extreme. We don't want to get people hurt and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'd hate to be a racetrack right now. All I know is that if I feel in any way, kind of like sick or whatever, I'm packing it up. This ain't worth it to me. I've been doing this for 28 years. You know, I want nothing more than to win a title and finally move on with my life. But is it worth your safety and health? You got to be smart. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll test the air conditioning in my truck all day, and hopefully the improvements that we make to the trailer will hopefully equal a little bit of comfort for us, but racing that car is going to be hell, and I just know it. And I wish it wasn't that way, but sometimes you just can't help it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Back in Stafford, it is hot. It's about the same as yesterday, but I don't think it's quite as humid, and there's quite a strong breeze as well. So it's hot, but at least there's a breeze, you know? It's not great, but at least there's something to, I don't know, make it feel a little bit better. So 2 races, well, really 1.5 tonight. No heat races. We're gonna try to get in here and get set up with some air conditioning and some block offs for the trailer. And hopefully those all work, because I sure would like to be cool today. Kind of see the trees laying over a little bit. Like I said, hopefully it helps. There's nothing worse than being in a hot race car and having a breeze, but judging by the flags, I'd say there's quite a breeze, and that's good.
Brent Gleason is that third place finisher. Brent, we were talking. You had to work on the car between races to pull off a podium run here in the second race.
Yeah, we put new brakes in the car this past week because it kind of needed it, and I had my old set with me just in case. And first race, the front pads glazed over. We had all rear brakes, so I brought the old pads out, slapped them in here, fixed the brakes. We rebuilt the distributor in the pits too. I'm 4 Pedialites deep on the day. I'm so over it. I want to go home and take about an hour-long cold shower. I'm done.
Well, you got enough time to give me all the people assist on your car?
Yeah, Northeast Truck and Off-Road, Frank Jr., and I got to say his name right. It's 7-time champion Glenn Boss. He'll yell at me if I don't say it. My brother Jesse, my wife, my son, Adam's here, MLZ Fabrication. I wish Zach would give me what's in the 75 car instead of hanging on to it for himself. No, but that's all right. Geez, all the associate sponsors, Drive Shaft Shop, Sunoco Race Fuels, Universal Drive Shaft, Rat Auto Machine, Napa Auto Parts, Hoosier Tires. I'm going home to take a shower.
Well, he's tired, he's beat, he worked his way to a podium finish. It is Brent Gleason.
That was a little rough, couple races, but honestly, I've been through worse. Just got to pull the front bumper cover off, even though it's not even that bad, honestly. I do have to get to the ducting, and I don't feel like reaching for it. Or I might leave it on and just fix the ducting there. I don't know, it doesn't look that bad. I might not have to take it apart. I'll probably have to pull this grill screen out just to fix that. And even though it looks like it came disconnected in the ductwork down the sides, like right there and right there, it looks like it all held together other than the zip ties I had holding it together. So that's kind of what I wanted it to do. So none of it wore through either, so that's good. It also is 190 the whole race. So, I mean, couldn't really complain about that too much. Minor body work here and there, nothing really major. A couple hammer marks down the side and we'll get her fixed back up. Sweat glands sure got a workout though, that is for sure. And we learned a bunch of stuff. And I tried a bunch of stuff, and I'll be honest with you, I gotta go write notes now that I think about it, because whatever I did made some kind of a difference, and not sure if it was really good, but we learned something. I think we're gonna have to start using tires as well. I'm gonna have to start getting these cleaned up. I'm gonna have to look through my inventory. I have like 3 brand new tires, and we can buy another one next week. So I've kind of been hoarding tires, and we're still doing this well. I think we've podiumed like the last 3 out of 4 races. And the other one was the first race this weekend where we were second. And yet again, the caution came out, because it always freaking does when I'm in second. So we finished 4th instead of 2nd. And it's always somebody way in the back taking an extra excursion, or somebody doing something, but whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. So I think we're gonna have to get through here a little bit more in depth and try to start dialing her in a little bit more, because we're getting closer and closer. It's just not, it's probably half me, or at least 3/4 me and not the car. Maybe I just don't have it no more. I don't know. You're getting old, you know, you tend to lose things as you get older, and probably this is one of them. So I don't know, we'll figure that out at some point. But I gotta end the video off here because I have other things to do. I've got another video to shoot pretty much right now, or at least get ready to shoot one, but I'm going on vacation in like 2 weeks, because we're gonna have another week off after next week. And I gotta have a video ready. So thank you guys so much for watching and hanging in there with me and all these things. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate the support at the track. I appreciate everybody who goes to GleasonBrosRacing.com and buys a t-shirt or anything from there. Just any little bit helps, and just to keep the car on the racetrack, the trailer moving, the truck running, every little bit just really does. Everything goes back into the channel. I have a day job for everything else, doesn't matter. So, and I have absolutely terrific sponsors that help out along the way. and people that were by my side as well. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to, please consider doing so, because it helps the channel, especially with the algorithms and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave it off here, and I got to go put a very special video together for when I'm on vacation. It won't be very long, but it's going to be really cool. So until next week, guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it.